Good afternoon. My name is Marla McGuinness, and I will be your moderator for today's news conference. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce the Premier of Nova Scotia, the Honourable Ian Rankin, and Nova Scotia's Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Robert Strang.
This is not a joke, it isn't an annoyance, and it isn't a conspiracy.
We will now take one question and one follow-up from media in the amount of time that we have today. We'll begin with Carolyn Ray with CBC. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Yes. This question is for Dr. Strang. Dr. Strang, given that Ann Daye didn't have a birthday in person last year, is there any chance that she might have the ability to celebrate with friends in person on May 9th?
Yeah, I think we need to look at where we're at, and we're in this for 1 week of the province-wide shutdown. We said it's going to be at least 2 weeks. We'll be assessing this very closely, but I think that's a fairly safe assumption that we're going to need to extend it for an additional period of time.
Carolyn, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you. This is a question again for Dr. Strang. Dr. Strang, given that Marianne is entering her 60th year, what advice would you give to her and to her virtual guests about what they need to think about and do right now?
It's not going to happen quickly. It's not going to happen overnight. We have to have patience and work our way through this.
Next, we'll go to Elizabeth McSheffrey with Global. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
This question is for the Premier. Many friends of Ann Daye are wondering, how much longer do we have to wait to actually celebrate with her in person?
So we expect it's going to be longer than 2 weeks.
Elizabeth, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you. Dr. Strang, we've been hearing from friends of Marianne that there's been some flipping and flopping, that the message is not clear, and most were anticipating that on May 9th they would actually be there with her in person. Could you please just clarify for us?
So I think we've been saying that for several days. We have a path. We're at a crossroads. We put things in place. Now what path we end up on actually depends on how well people comply with that.
Next, we'll go to Madeline Bisso with All Nova Scotia.
Yes, this is for Dr. Strang. Dr. Strang, Marianne has a very close friend. Her name is Janet. She has a great deal of difficulty not going to Marianne's house, and specifically on her birthday on May 9th, she's going to find this very challenging. Is there anything that you could say to people like Janet in this situation where they feel desperate to see their friends and celebrate their birthdays?
So the next time you decide to do something that you know you should not be doing, please think twice about it. Make sure you are following the restrictions and following public health protocols. We all need to do whatever we can to get to the other side of this outbreak without losing any more Nova Scotians.
Madeline, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes, thank you. Dr. Strang, wondering, given that Marianne's birthday usually goes on for about a month and is usually planned about 6 months in advance, what would you say about how people would go about contacting people who might be planning to come and do this in-person celebration and likely stay at or around Marianne's house for a couple of days?
So, I mean, I think as we're clearing the backlog, people are being communicated to. I think we have to wait for a little bit. So we ask people to give emails, and it may be sometimes you have challenges with emails, addresses being incorrect, or people don't give an email. There's lots of reasons there, but we are in a position to start to catch up. We just ask for people's ongoing patience as we work through the end of this and start to get back to normal.
Do you have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you. Premier, we know that Ann Daye can be insufferable when her birthday doesn't go well. Is there anything that you can say to her to put her at ease and give her friends some relief? Because we're always the ones that have to pick up the pieces.
I know it hasn't been easy. And as your Premier, I am proud of you. We will get through this together.